you want to attend the next ARG regional event? Make sure you pre-register online at dragonballsuper-regionals.com. The next event is scheduled for the weekend of February 24th and 25th in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. Can't do a regional event? Don't forget about the ARG State Championships in your area. Visit argcircuitseries.com for a list of locations by state where you can battle for the title of champion on February 17th or 18th. Participants will be playing for 7 exclusive top 8 cloth playmats, 1 exclusive champion cloth playmat, 1 round bye to ARG Circuit Summer Invitational, and much more. If you want to really test your skills, head to Pro Play Games in Miami, Florida, home to 3 regional champions and an additional prizing of up to $1,000. Or find your way to the Comic Vault in Altoona, Pennsylvania to face off against KitchenTableMeta pro players. If you can't make it to one of these events, don't forget to visit argcircuitseries.com to find a list of stores holding ARG state championships near you.
All right, guys, we're here for the second match of the top 4. Peter Cattani on the left playing blue, yellow, golden Frieza, and Anthony Hernandez on the right playing Vegeta blue. Both very amazing decks. Again, kind of variations of what we saw in other decks. And so essentially golden Frieza, extremely powerful. We saw it being very good against the Android matchup, and we saw Peter playing in the top 16. And I think it's going to be equally as good against the Vegeta blue. Now, however, Anthony Hernandez playing a very unique take on Vegeta as well, playing Gawasu's to be able to search for those Champas as well. So again, 2 extremely powerful decks. And very unique decks, which is really fun to see. I mean, I think it's really cool that our game keeps evolving every single regional event, and it's just really, really neat to see the different variations that players put and little spins they put on the decks to kind of make the decks their own. It's really neat, really powerful. Very, very powerful. All right, so it looks like Peter's just passing turn back to Anthony. Anthony going to play out a Jiren in red and take a life, going to 7. Again, 1-drop red. And there's the Champa. I'll look at the top 7 and see if he can choose any Champa from there. Again, I think he runs 4 1-drops, 4 scheming, and then maybe 2 of the 6-drop. We see him get a 6-drop there. Very shiny, but it is a 6-drop. All right, Peter taking that critical attack, showing a boo from his life, and going to 7. So 7-7. Peter playing a boo, very powerful against Vegeta. Okay, here Frieza's going to attack 10,000 into 10,000 and hit Anthony, knock him to 6. Very unique type of play. We don't see players attack Vegeta very often because they don't want to put an extra card in their opponent's hand. But here we see Peter doing it. Again, Peter very well versed in the Vegeta matchup. While people say that you know, Marcel and Eddie are probably the 2 best Vegeta players in the world, I would argue that Peter is probably the best player in the world to play against it. All right, so Peter attacking. I'm sorry, Anthony putting down his Beerus and playing out Champa. Look at top of 7 again. Again, very unlikely that he misses. I already see a 6-drop in his hand. Probably what he'll go with again. And there's another 6-drop. So that's 2 solid energy choices by Anthony off the top. Okay, Anthony's attacking in for 10,000. All right, and he blocks it. Passes turn. No, I don't believe that attack was critical. I think Peter might have thought it was critical. Looks like Anthony is at 5 life. He went from 8 to 7, took the hit with the 6, went to 5. No, it was critical. Okay. Okay, drawing a card. And Peter going to attack again. Possibly knocking Anthony to 4 here. Now, Anthony might just use a Champa here in order to stop this. He might actually want to awaken, use his ability to awaken into. But he's just actually going to use a Gohan, even better, as it turns out. What's better than using the Champa? Use the card that comes into play, and then Peter's is immediately going to pass. And Anthony going to be able to take a card here and awaken. Very powerful turn this time for Anthony. All right, Anthony will take that life, go to 4. Awaken. And attack 15,000 critical into 10,000 here. Draw a card off the attack. And gives it double strike, 25,000 critical here. Double strike critical. Anthony's signing up to 30 here. I like that. It's going to cost a lot of cards from Peter, and of course he's just going to take it. Hits a results. Though he does have one in hand, so not too big of a deal. 5 to 4. Anthony at 4. Peter at 5. And there comes the Guasu tech. I love this card a lot. Again, looks at the top 3. Can choose any god. Now, he actually whiffs. Unfortunately, Anthony whiffs off that. But there's a lot of gods he can hit in the deck. There's all the Champas, and there's Piccolos, and other Guasus. So he actually has, and the Beerus's. So he actually has a lot of targets, which is pretty cool. Really cool choice. Peter playing that results down. Has another one in hand. Peter's seeing the results this game. Going to tap 4, play out the Frieza that reveals his hand. He's going to show Anthony. Anthony's going to show him all of his cards. Quite a few of them, as it turns out. That last card, there's a Gohan. So Gohan Trunks, 6-drop Champa. A Gowasu, a Jiren, a Piccolo. Sensu Bean, further instruction Champa, and 2 Kabas. On Peter, this is a pretty scary hand. The problem is Peter can choose a Piccolo here, but I don't think Peter can kill it. I could try attacking to it with the 20,000, but I think Anthony has enough stuff on board. Plus with a Gohan, it would take it up to 26. Actually, I'm not sure what Peter's going to choose here. Might be better to choose maybe a Trunks. Looks like Peter's doing some calculations here. Just trying to get an idea of how much combo power he needs to be prepared for. And I think looks like he's just going to choose a Kaba. I think that's a great pick. I think it would either be Kaba or Trunks there. Again, you want to play something. You want to choose something you can kill. You don't want to choose something that you can't. Obviously, Piccolo being the obvious choice if he was awakened. But without being awakened, all right, so he's attacking 20,000, double striking into Anthony. It's actually going to go up to 25. That's an interesting choice now. Anthony could just take this. But Anthony's going to go up to 25 and then use a Guasu. His opponent being tapped out. Obviously using Frieza's ability to go up to one energy. Anthony might have thought he could have maybe possibly pulled the trigger there, having a double strike from Vegeta, taking him from 5 to 3. Probably unlikely. All right, Anthony taking some time to figure out what energy he wants to play down here. It's probably just going to be the Chomp in his hand. Though he might want 2 blue this turn. Anthony, again, taking some time. Anthony choosing the Guasu, so he doesn't go 2 blue, 2 red. He does have a Trux in hand, so he essentially has access to at least 5 energy. So you take the life, go to 3. He's going to play Guasu again, look at top 3. Probably want to hit a Piccolo here. It looks like his last card was a Piccolo, actually. Yep, shows a Piccolo. Gives him 2 Piccolos in hand.
Dragon Ball Super 1K players, that is time in the round.
All right, Anthony attacking for 15,000 to 10,000 here, critical. And draw a card. Expecting to see the Champa come down here, moving up to 25. Well, actually, Peter must have negated the Vegeta attack. So Anthony is just going to Champa into a further destruction Champa. Anthony trying to figure out what he wants to play out here. If he wants to attack with some of this, but he has a very big board, a lot of cards. Okay, Anthony attacking for 15k here. Peter with an extremely defensive hand. Of 2 Sensu Bean, 2 Dodora, and a Results. Peter might just opt to take this hit. I'll give him Double Strike. Knocking him to 3. Peter's forced to take the attack. 2 Sensu Bean doesn't get him there. Does draw a Tyrant, though. Not going to be that usable. All right, here Peter attacks. I'm sorry. Anthony attacks for 15,000 to Peter. Remember, at 3 life. Peter's going to awaken, draw 2 cards, back up to quite a few cards in hand. And there's Goldo. So 3-3. Very, very fast catch up there by Anthony, dealing a total of, I think, 3 damage that turn. I think it was just 2, actually. He was at 5 before. Again, unlike Soul Striker, Peter's deck doesn't quite get super powerful at 5. It kind of waits a little bit later to get powerful, but Peter does have access to a lot of blockers. Getting that Goldo, good choice. But I'm going to choose that Dodora. I like it. Much better choice. As Dodora is a key part of how you defeat Vegeta. The 0-cost combo cards are actually very hard for Vegeta to get through. And Peter having 3 in hand. All right, Peter attacking 15,000 into 15,000 Golden Frieza into Vegeta here. There's the sorbet. There's the the blocker that Peter really wanted. Oh, another blocker. Though it's possible Anthony might have access to Mass Saiyan. We know Mira. Okay. So Peter passing a turn with a lot of energy open. But again, the game just gets easier and easier for Peter as the rounds go, as the turns go further and further. So again, Peter has a blocker out, has a Cold Bloodlust in hand, multiple Sensu Bean, all 3 Dodora. Obviously not in danger of dying next turn. Anthony's going to have to figure out how a way to put some pressure on Peter. Honestly, maybe just not using Vegeta's ability for a couple turns here and just trying to eke out a win that way. Might be a better choice. All right. It looks like Anthony's going to do just that. Again, no reason to critical your opponent down to 2, because you know he's going to stop it in any way he can. So, ooh, Anthony decided to play Jiren. I like that. A good card against these blockers. Gets that free. There's Cold Bloodlust. Blinks the card. All right, Anthony will attack just 15,000 into 15,000. And Peter's going to Sensu. All right, here Anthony attacking 15,000 into 15,000. I'm sorry, 15,000, 20,000 goes up to 20 with this. Again, just trying to knock Peter to 2 life. Peter's decided what card he wants to use. He's just going to go for another Sensu Bean. Anxious to see if Anthony decides to attack with this Jiren, even though it doesn't have double strike. It is a 20,000 attacker. I like that Anthony's really pressuring with his leader one of the card. This really shuts down Mecha Frieza in the deck, and it makes it so Mecha Frieza doesn't get as much value. Peter was still 3 Dodora in hand. Peter trying to figure out what he wants to do here. We talked a little bit after his last game, and he said the hardest part of my deck is figuring out what energy I want to play. And you can see that he always kind of struggles trying to figure out what energy he wants to play. Always takes the most time trying to figure that out because, again, like Peter said, all of his cards are really good. Like, all of his cards usually net him a card. And so it's hard to choose which card he wants to use to net a card. Like the Friezas are obviously very good against Anthony's deck. I'm not sure I agree with that choice. But again, so is all the other cards in his hand, so it's very, very difficult. So here comes Frieza. Chooses a Goldo. Peter playing that Goldo out. To Tampa Champa. Attacking 5,000 in Champa. Anthony has to let it die. And he's going to kill the Frieza with Golden Frieza. Again, extreme value out of that turn. Yeah, that sequence. He gets to get a card, kill a card, draw a card, untap energy, and kill a card with all of just one card. Pretty effective. All right, so 15,000 into 50,000 golden Frieza into Vegeta here. Anthony taking some time. I'm going to use a Sensu Bean here. Go up to 20. You're attacking 15,000 to 20, going up to 25,000 to 20. Going to force Anthony to use a 1-cost combo card or take a damage and go to 2. Peter down to 2 the doors after this. Anthony going to use that 0-cost combo card. Pierre plays another Goldo down 3 blockers. Not sure if Anthony can get through all these blockers. It's going to be tough. But luckily he has Jiren. And so Jiren's going to put in a lot of work right here. He's going to be able to pick off one of these blockers for free. And possibly a second one. Though I think Jiren's probably the card Anthony wants to get through. Ooh, Anthony playing at Champa. Unbelievable. Actually, that's a triple. It's triple strike, too. That is huge. If Anthony has a Trunks in hand, which I believe he does, he can actually... Guys, this could be huge.
Dragon Ball Super 1K players, the pairings for the next round are going up.
Jeez, guys. Anthony's board looking more like a mid-range deck right now than a aggro deck. Has a Jiren, a 6-drop Champa, and 2 Gohans. Pretty powerful. Let's see what he decides to do. He's going to attack in for a 25,000 triple strike. And there's the Trunks we talked about. Now, this could be Trunks in the Sensu. Untap even more energy. He might have Piccolos as well. Man, considering Anthony having this Champa in hand, and this was the play he was going to make, I actually think it was okay for him to take the damage last turn. Take a damage, you get an extra card in hand. It's possible. Anthony checks the deck. He decided if he wants to go any higher than 30. 30 to 15 is a good number. He uses a Piccolo. I like this. Use another Piccolo. Like it. He's putting so much pressure on his opponent right here. And he can still critical his opponent down to 2. Trunks already another energy. It's like he's using that energy, both energy. No, he's going 2 blue. Okay. So he's at 30, 40, 55 triple strike, putting an enormous pressure on Peter. Peter can survive this attack, but the question is... Okay, so this is 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. Triple strike. Again, Peter can survive this attack. The problem is, can he do anything afterwards? Trio Piccolo off of Piccolo. So there's 30. So he's at 45 to 65. Still has quite a ways to go, as it turns out. And this is for game. So it's 45 to 65. $45 to 65. Again, look at all the cards that Peter has, but again, this is his hand. And Anthony's really down nothing from this. Okay, there it is at 65. But again, Peter's down to what? 3 cards in hand? Yeah, one being a bad ring laser, the other one not looking good. And again, Anthony should take a life here. Go to critical. Attack in, pressure, knock on the 2, and then just go in and finish going with the all-in on the Jiren. Again, I can't quite see what's in Anthony's hand, but the free trunks, that's good. It's actually a free combo with the Vegeta. I actually think Anthony might have it this turn if he plays this turn correctly with the critical off of Vegeta. I'm not sure that Peter has the cards in hand to deal with it. Anthony taking some time. Deciding he's going to put one on bottom, one in hand. Didn't get a chance to see what either one of those were. This is 15,000, but it's not double. It's not critical. I feel like Anthony doesn't really lose anything by taking a critical here. He gets an extra card in hand. I mean, maybe he's worried more about defense. Combos the trunks in like we expected, so that's 20,000. Looks like Peter might just have to take this. His hand is a sorbet and a trunks. That means the Gohan's coming in. Okay, Anthony attacking for 15 here. So 20 to 20. And there's a trunk, so Peter down to 1 card in hand. Anthony in such a good position here. Just going to kill this for free. And probably just pass turn. Really no reason to Anthony for do anything else here. 1 energy open, passing turn with 1 card in Peter's hand. I can't think of too many cards that Peter draws that helps him out here. Mass Saiyan Bean, not a bad one though. And honestly, a reason for him not to take the life for crits. Peter looking at his drop. He has warp. Trying to figure out exactly what he wants to do here. Looks like he has a Mass Saiyan and a bad ring laser in hand. Sort of expecting Peter to charge the bad ring laser, though it doesn't really do much in energy or hand, as it turns out. Okay, Peter attacking for 15,000 into Vegeta. Peter drawing a cold bloodlust off that. Not the card you want to see. It looks like Anthony just uses a Goasu in order to, and just scoops it up. Knows he can't win the next turn. Ooh, Anthony with that Champa. Turning to what looked to be an unwinnable game into an unlosable one very quickly. Guys, as it turns out, I feel like, you know, triple strikes are extremely powerful cards. Like I said, players usually don't mind to fall to 3, but they will fight you tooth and nail to fall from 3 to 2. So triple strike showing you the power there, melting away Peter's hand. Extremely powerful, guys. Now these guys are getting ready to go into sideboard. We're gonna switch over to the caster desk over here. Let them sideboard. We'll talk a little bit about this match. So here, Anthony. All right, guys. We are in the cast desk. All right, so guys, again, very good matchup. I mean, I think these guys both have very good matchups against each other. Now, I'm afraid that the Frieza deck might not have that good sideboard options against this Vegeta deck. Now, don't get me wrong, there's amazing sideboard options against Vegeta. You have Jocko's, which is, you know, just a great sideboard card in general against Aggro, which I think we saw Peter run in the second game against Androids, so very good option. But again, you know, he's running multiple main board blockers. He's also running, you know, Cold Bolas and Crusher Balls is something else he runs in the sideboard, which could be good. Crusher Balls is pretty good. I mean, if he Crusher Balls that's Champa, 6-drop Champa, and then kills it the next turn, that game goes a lot differently. So again, I think I expect to see maybe a couple Jockos come in and Crusher Balls come in. Not a huge amount of sideboarding potential, I don't think, Peter. Now, from Anthony's side, now that's where stuff gets spicy. There's all kinds of things he can sideboard in. I mean, Vegeta, I mean, also just Blue in general has access to amazing sideboard cards, and a little bit of a red splash. You know, has access to a lot of good cards there too. I mean, he can even sideboard in Mighty Masks if he wants. Search for Gotenks in order to, Goten. I'm sorry, in order to use a Goten to kill the multiple blockers that we see Peter running. So there is a lot of options. I'm actually going to pull this up here. I'm not sure how far they are into sideboarding, so I don't want to sit here and talk. All right, looks like they're still shuffling. So yeah, guys. So there's a lot of different options that we can do that both players can do. But again, I feel like Anthony having access to probably some more impactful sideboarding options, where essentially Peter is just kind of strengthening what he already does. If that makes sense. He's not going to be changing too much of what he's going to be doing. Again, Peter having, in my opinion, an amazing matchup against this aggro deck main board. The fact he lost the first game could spell disaster in this best of 3 matchup, because again, Anthony probably has some spicy text in his sideboard in order to deal with this. Now, I haven't seen any Mera in Anthony's sideboard. I mean, in Anthony's main board. Maybe he just didn't draw them, but it actually seems like a pretty good card to bring in against this deck as well. Just a lot of different cards that I can see Vegeta bring in. I'm really excited to see this next matchup. Anthony taking this, and they just shook hands. That must mean things are getting ready to get underway. So I'm going to switch it over to the gameplay, guys. Alrighty, here we go. Players getting their mulligans figured out, getting everything set up. Can't wait to see what I think Anthony and them will be playing. I'm really excited to see what their sideboard is. I almost guarantee we'll see some Crusher Balls. Crusher Balls seem really good against a lot of cards. Crusher Balls are actually extremely good against the Overwhelm cards that we see played. Essentially, just like it makes them not be able to attack and they just die. So the Crusher Ball could be making somewhat of a comeback in the meta to combat some of these powerful Overwhelm cards. All right, Peter probably decided to go first. There it is, yellow into Frieza's army. Searching out Avenging Frieza, which lets him look at the top 3. Choose a Frieza army card that costs 2 or less, put it in his hand. Then he'll kill it, ready that energy back, draw a card. Pretty good first turn. I feel like Frieza has the most ridiculous first turns. Alright, so here's the Avenging Frieza trigger. Whiffs. Peter just not getting lucky with these Avenging Frieza. I think it's like the 4th or 5th one we've seen in this series. I feel like none of them that he played last. Well, no, he got a door off one of them, so it's probably like the 3rd. All right. Here we see Beerus come down. He'll take a life, go to 7. This is going to be critical here.
Could I have Patrick?
Okay, here comes Gowasu. Look at the top 3. Guasu get one Chop Champa. Now, one Chop Champa is the one that lets you look at the top 3. I'm sorry, top 7 and choose another Champa card. All right, here comes 10,000 critical, and Peter has to take it. Go 7. It's a Crusher Ball. This is bad for multiple reasons. Number one, it's bad because it's just a good card in this matchup, so that's one you hate to see go into the drop zone. It's also bad because now Anthony knows that he has Crusher Ball in deck, and that he's sideboarding Crusher Ball, so now Anthony can start playing around it. So that's pretty bad hit. I'm not going to say the worst possible one, but pretty close to it, I would imagine. Peter playing out, or playing Avenging Frieza. I'm sorry, playing out Goldo. Sorry, seeking out Godo. All right, he's going to kill Avenging Frieza with this. With the Frieza ability. And ready that energy he used to play the Avenging Frieza. All right, Peter attacking 10,000 into 10,000. See if Anthony decides to take this. Yeah, he's going to take go to 6. Interesting that Peter decides to keep attacking Anthony. It does awaken him sooner, but also stops a barrage of crits that are coming out too. This time Peter gets Dodora off of the Avenging Frieza, which is very good. Again, very powerful card. Cattani also having a Blue and Gate in hand. He's taking some time here trying to figure out what card he wants to put down. But yeah, another Beerus, double Beerus, using the critical effect here, going down to 5 life. 1 away from awakening here. He's gonna play Boo. Love Boo. Draws a card. At the attack of Vegeta, 10,000 critical. And the Frieza. Anthony, I expect to maybe use one of these combo cards. But may not. He's not going to. Just force Peter to use this card. Not a bad play either. Instead, Anthony's going to keep that Boo and Guasu here for defense, which is actually probably better because if he keeps this Boo and Guasu as defense here, he doesn't have to worry about Peter trying to attack in and knock him to 4 life and then make his crits weird. So this way, he can essentially protect himself from almost any threat that Peter can play. Peter playing out Goldo as his second yellow energy. He's going to play Mass Saiyan. Kill both. So what? This is a heck of a turn right here. Peter attacking in. Would knock Anthony down to 4. I think Anthony's thinking about taking it. Do I wonder if I'm Peter, do I attack Double Strike first and knock Frieza, knock Vegeta down to 3? Okay, looks like he's gonna knock it down to 4. comes Frieza as a combo, so he goes up to 30,000 double strike. Peter turned into the aggro deck here, as it turns out. Anthony going to awaken first. 15 to 30 double. Use Piccolo. Go to 25 to 30. Maybe a Gohan? Yeah, Gohan. There we go. He gets there. A pretty efficient way to stop that attack by Anthony, though. So Anthony's not behind as much as he could have been. All right, 2 blue active. Anthony draws card for a turn. Now, this could be a pretty devastating turn by Anthony, but Anthony's on half. Like, he needs to do something. Peter's at 7 life and still finding ways to apply pressure on Anthony. All right, first thing is Kaba. This card is extremely good in the matchup, but honestly, with the way Anthony's playing right now, or the way Anthony is position Anthony's in right now, it's not a card that I think he can afford to play. There's a negate off of the Frieza attack. Sorry guys, changing our own life. Anthony's down to 3. All right, Gawasu, look top 3. See if we can get a god here. I can't quite. Yeah, I'll Piccolo, the last card. Gets a lot of value. Anthony, again, just building the board up. I think he doesn't expect Peter to have as explosive turn as he had last time this turn. As it turns out, Peter only had such an explosive turn due to the overwhelm mechanic. And since Peter doesn't have a drop zone anymore, I think it's pretty safe to say that Peter's not going to be throwing out any more 20,000 double strikers for free. So Anthony just taking a turn to build up. I like this a lot. Anthony playing this matchup very well. And the one thing I like about Anthony when he's playing this deck is he doesn't play it as all in as I've seen a lot of other Vegetas play. He plays it very defensively at the start, pressures us with critical, and then tries to come in later with powerful cards you don't expect, like 6-drop Choppa, holy crap, and Jiren. Just being powerful cards this matchup. Now it's possible that Peter cut Cold Bolas from the deck. If he did, some of these effects are going to be very powerful. All right, Peter drawing an overwhelm card, but unfortunately can't play it. Peter taking time, that Peter Cattani TM trademark long charge time here. If you look at his hand, though, almost every single card in this hand is good. Probably he has results, which seems pretty bad right now, but he's at 7 life, so if he can awaken at 7 life, it's extremely powerful. Every one of those cards are so good right now, guys. It's so hard to decide which one is the correct one to charge. Peter's still deciding what energy to play down. Looks like he should go Goldo, though. It's probably the worst of the 3. But honestly, results is not a bad choice either. Because with only 4 cards in hand, it's unlikely that Peter is going to be able to survive an attack. You know, to not go to 4 against Anthony's attacks. And so I think results would be the choice I would pick if I was Peter. Though it could be wrong. But I'm just banking on the fact that I'm not going to be able to protect myself. I'm probably going to go to 4 next turn anyway, and I'm going to get the awaken that way. We'll see, though. If Peter can survive, though, results is absolutely absurd if he can awaken at 7 against Vegeta. So here Peter is stacking 20,000 into 15,000, putting a lot of pressure on Anthony here just to use these cards on the field, this defense. And again, that's something that if you can do against Vegeta, pressure him enough to make him have to use his cards defensively, it can be extremely powerful. Let's see what card he draws here. A Mass Saiyan. Good lord, that card is so good. So here comes Trunks. Let's see what card he decides to keep here. Looks like he put one on top. Looks like he's actually still choosing. Maybe he looks like he's maybe playing any Mighty Mo on there. Looks like he took a Crusher. No, a Sorbet. Attacking 15 to 15. And they really trying to figure out what he wants to do. The Sorbet he got off of Trunks is going to be a big card. If Peter can stop Anthony from knocking him to 4 this turn, the results is huge. Anthony with the 6 drop stomp in energy. All right, so here's Jiren. Great card against those blockers, 30,000. Anthony deciding to go to 15,000 to 7. I'm sorry, 15,000 15,000 to 10. If it was 50,000 to 7, I'm guessing that Peter's going to take it. All right, so Peter's going to go to 6. Again, 2 away from that results being useless. Anthony attacking for 15 here. Use Trunks to ready an energy. Goes up to 20, so 20 to 10. He's going to take it, go to 5. Here's 20 to 5. Peter deciding what he wants to do here. He's going to have to dump a lot of cards out of hand to save, and I'm not sure if it's worth it. Here's the thing, though. If he does dump a lot of cards out of hand to survive, it does turn on his Mass Saiyan. He's going to take it and go to 3 guys again. This is a big reason why I feel like keeping that results in his hand was a bad decision. I get what he was thinking. Drew a door for the turn. Actually, fantastic. He's going to snap, put this results down. Imagine what would happen if you drew another results here, though. It would just be like 2 dead cards in hand where he could have used both. All right, Peter, deciding what he wants to play here. Looks like he's going to go for this Boo here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Looks like he's going to be playing the Promo Frieza. Anthony's hand being pretty good here. Senzu Bean, Trunks, Boo, Senzu Bean, Double Strike Champa, Guasu, Senzu Bean, Double Strike Champa, Piccolo. Absolutely just devastating. I think Peter will probably go for the Piccolo here. Try to take that out of his hand. But it's possible Anthony actually just protects this. So that's trying out the values here. It's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K in hand. So 50K in hand by Anthony. This comes on the Boo here. Draw. Looks like Peter's going to attack the 20 here. My guess is into Jiren, but we'll see. Looks like he's debating either go Jiren or Piccolo. I think Jiren's the choice here. You want to try to get Anthony to dump some cards out of hand each turn. Remember, he does have 50,000 possible in hand. So he's going to go Jiren, 20 to 20. Now, whether he uses a card in hand or not, it's going to go, looks like Boo. Jeez, wants that Jiren dead. I think in this situation, if you're Anthony, you just let this die. I mean, it's an important card in the matchup, I agree, but it's actually probably more important to have more cards in hand than it is. He's going to use Piccolo to save it. So this is 35 to 30 right now. I think going to have to find a way to use another card, but obviously if he's using Piccolo, he's going to use something else to stop it. He's not just going to do Piccolo nothing. See what he decides to get out of hand. Ooh, I like the Sensu Beam play here. So 35 to 35. Ooh, I decided to using on Vegeta here. Going Champa. Interesting. Peter deciding to Awaken here. One of the coolest things about Golden Frieza over Goku is that Starter Goku is that obviously he can untap 2 of any color, where Starter Goku can only tap 2 blue. But what's really cool is on his Awakening turn, he gets to ready 3 energy, which is just fantastic. So it's actually really neat. I like it a lot. I actually still think Soul Striker is better. But in the format where, if you're a Soul Striker player in a format where you think Cold Bolas is powerful, I think Golden Frieza could be an option. I just feel like Soul Striker has better value. Peter going 25k, drawing a card. Let's see what Anthony decides to do here. Is Anthony going to fight over it or not? I don't know.
Dragon Ball Super players, that is time in the round, the 1K.
Looks like Anthony's going to say no, let it die. I like that play for Anthony. Oh, here comes Mass Saiyan. It's going to be 20,000 to 20,000 though. Again, Peter with another very defensive hand. 3 Sensu Bean. Alright, so 20,000 into 15. So he's going to go 30,000, draw a card. Peter using all of his like defensive cards offensively here. This is 30 to 20.
Wait, why are you taking that down? Are they going to take pictures in front of the stuffs? For what? Finals, trophies? You're in front of that? Yeah. So we're just not going to picture people with trophies. I like Jim's like that. That's good.
Anthony going to 30 to 30.
Me in the airport.
All right. Anthony survives the attack. 3 to 3 still. Peter forcing Anthony to use a lot of cards. All right. Anthony trying to figure out what's going on here, guys. All right, here comes the boo. Draw a card. Anthony building the board back up, getting ready to see if he can put some pressure on Peter. My guess is he's not going to be able to put too much pressure on Peter this turn, but the following turn he should be able to. Again, Peter only at 5 energy, which again, 5 energy not being that scary in the Golden Frieza variant. Now, obviously, in the Soul Striker Goku, there's tons of things that come down. You can get Gotinkses and Friezas, but in this version, Peter's version, not as many. So Anthony should probably spend this turn building up, putting a little bit of pressure, getting some cards out of his opponent's hand. There's one of 3 Sensu Bean. Can't ask for much more than that. And we'll see. There's a Trunks coming down. So that's all too. I don't think Anthony runs any other Overwhelm cards but Trunks. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't seen him run that many other ones. Anthony putting 1 card in and 1 card on the bottom. He's going to attack 15k. Using the boo to go to 20. Again, just trying to get another card out of Peter's hand. One of those cards being the results. Again, Peter taking some time here. Trying to decide what card he wants to pitch here, or just take it. Again, so much card quality in Peter's hand. Is Peter just going to take it and go to 2? Interesting. That can't be the right play. Peter must be planning on trying to kill Anthony next turn. I just can't imagine that being right against Vegeta. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I mean, Anthony's passing turn, but I can't imagine Peter being able to put very much pressure on Anthony this turn. Down to 2, that means he could die to a handful of things. Peter must be planning on going a super aggressive with Mecha Frieza this turn. I mean, Mecha Frieza double Sensu. Just have a 25,000 double strike dual attacker. There's Boo, draw a card. Draws another Sensu Bean, guys. Holy moly. Peter add up his hand. Remember, Peter knows the power in Anthony's hand. Knows he was at 50 a couple turns ago. This is 15,000 into 15,000. Draws a card, draws another Galdo. Actually, it was in the gate. No, it was in the Galdo he drew. Peter going Frieza. Goes up to 25k. It's like what he's trying to do is bait this damage out. He's trying to bait 1 damage out so he can beef up Super Mecha Frieza with 3 Sensu Beans and just dual attack Anthony down. Now, Anthony is aware of how important it is not to fall to 2 life.
Attention, Dragon Ball Super 1K participants. Your top standings are now going up. You have 3 minutes after they are posted to verify everything is all right. Please take a look. If you are in the top 16, please stick around to make sure we get your information for an invite.
All right, looks like Anthony is going to protect that, which is very good. Because I see this buffed up Mecha Frieza coming down. It's going to spell disaster for Anthony if he falls to 2 life. I think that he can probably survive the attacks. What I'm worried about, though, is it's going to take his whole hand to do so. Okay, so here's Mecha Golden Frieza, return a card, putting Anthony's card at the bottom of his deck. Attacking 25 into 15. Remember, Anthony did have Sensu Bean, size 30. Again, 3 Sensu Bean in Peter's hand. I just can't imagine Anthony being able to beat his entire hand here. But possibly. Maybe Anthony can. I think if Anthony takes a life here, he decides to go all in. If he waits, we'll see. Anthony also might have access to like Mass Saiyan or something in hand. We haven't seen Anthony's hand for a little while. Mass Saiyan would allow him to essentially remove the Frieza and have a double striker on board to pressure into Peter's board and Peter's leader. Yeah, Peter with 2 negates though, looking unlikely that he even gets to attack. Anthony does take the life though. This is definitely signaling, hey, I want to come in for game. Anthony taking his time, just making sure what's in his drop, make sure what's in his warp, seeing if he should attack, if he shouldn't attack, when he should attack with first, if he should go in with which guy. He's going to play Gawasu, searching almost undoubtedly for a Piccolo here. Gets a double strike. A good pick. Anthony does have 3 attackers here. So worst case scenario, Anthony might be able to just go in with Gawasu if his Vegeta gets countered. So here Anthony goes, attack in, 15,000, immediate negate by Peter. Anthony drawing a card. Here comes Kaba. Ooh, another good threat here, attacking it with Kaba. Looks like Peter's probably going to negate, though he might not mind Anthony taking the damage.
At this time, standings are now final for the 1K. If you are 9 through 16, make a single file line here in front of me, and I'll go over your invitational information.
Peter's still deciding if he wants to negate or not. Negate here makes sense. I like this negate, though Anthony might decide to still take an energy. He is going to. Take a life, go to 1. Has essentially max value in hand. Going to attack with Gohan. See what Peter decides to do. Alright, so Sensu Bean on tap. Sensu Bean on tap. Looks like Anthony has as many Sensu Bean. There's double strike. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40. 45. 55. 65. So there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, so 75. So it's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75. Yeah, so 75K, double strike. Here we go. Can Peter beat it? All right, going to play out the door. Draw. What does he get? Gets a mecha. Something he can use. 3 Sensu Bean. So it's 10, 25. So just counting it up. Looks like Peter has this game. Yep, there it is. Anthony gets the game. Looks like he was 5 short. Peter Cattani being 5 short from that match and going to lose, making it not a PPG finals, as it turns out. It's going to be Anthony Hernandez versus Chrissy in the finals, coming up very shortly, guys. So here we go. Very, very, coming down to 5K. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Yeah, got somebody 5K. I mean, 5K short, I think. Very close game. Peter just falling very short at the very end. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it over to the caster desk. Tell you guys goodbye and then get ready for the last, the finals, the grand finals. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it, guys. Again, 2 awesome decks. Saw Golden Frieza. Peter making it all the way up to the top 4 with a very unique brew. So can't say anything bad about that. Great deck. Actually feel like it has a pretty decent matchup against Vegeta. But I think Anthony played very well there. And that really helped him going into that match. He just played very patiently, build the board back up. I think he realized the Golden Frieza doesn't really have the threats in the 5-drop area, 5-6 drop. And so he just kind of played around that, played very smart, and led to a decisive win over Peter Cattani, 2-0. Moving into the finals, my friend. Guys, thank you so much again for watching, and we'll see you guys very soon for the finals. Don't forget, go to ultrarealitygames.com. Check out the ARG state championships that are closest to you. And if you guys can, please come see us in North Carolina. It'd be awesome to see you there. Again, the KitchenTableMeta pro players will be there, and also PPG players will be there. So come by, check us out. We'd love to see you guys. Love to have you in North Carolina. The last ARG regional before, in the East Coast. So come check us out, guys. We'd love to have you. See you soon. See you for the finals.